Thanks. Ben, particularly with what happened afterwards, how pleased were you with that century personally?
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably showed it was slightly more relief than anything. Yeah, I felt in good form for the past kind of year or so, and yeah, probably I've sat here and spoken that I want to score hundreds, and I've missed out on a few. So yeah, it was obviously nice to get over the line, but yeah, I think we'd be in a slightly better position if I was walking out there in the morning. But you know, credit to them. I thought they bowled really well, and they were at us all day.
When Pakistan picked the team for this test match, they loaded the game with spinners. You knew you were going to face a hell of a lot of spin. Did you feel like this was a good week for you, and that maybe that was an attack you could enjoy some success against?
It was certainly a good week for my thumb. I was happy when I saw only one seamer. Yeah, I mean, we kind of knew what the pitch was going to do. I mean, obviously, if we'd have batted on that yesterday and there was only one seamer and it wasn't spinning a great deal, you know, things could be very different. You know, but it's only going to get harder, I think. You know, we're in a position now where I think tomorrow morning's massive. You know, we need to try and win that first session, and I think we'll be in a good position in the game. But you know, certainly, you know, in that fourth innings, it's going to be a bit tricky.
Were you guys of the opinion that with the decision to play on the reused pitch and the fact that we're into day 7 on this wicket now, that there would come a point in this match where, I don't know, it was almost on a timer and it would go off, and are we there?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not even sure we are. You know, I don't know if, you know, I think the more the pitch gets used throughout the day, it does crumble and go a bit more. So hopefully in the morning it doesn't go quite as much. But I can't see this pitch kind of staying the same or not changing much. I think it's going to continue to kind of get worse. And you know, I think the beauty of actually having a couple of seamers is that bounce, and I think Kasi and Potsy really were incredible throughout that first innings, and you know, we're going to use them again very well second innings. And if that ball's kind of going down and the odd one bouncing up, you know, at least we've got those options as well.
Okay, we'll go George, Stefan, and Chris.
Did it feel as if things changed quite suddenly in terms of the pitch?
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, because we actually thought the new ball might be the hardest. And actually looking back, it was probably the best time to bat. The ball was skidding on even with the spinners a little bit more, and it just felt like it did feel like it spun more this afternoon. But to be honest, it doesn't really seem a surprise saying that on day 7 or whatever it is. I think I'd be very surprised if it doesn't just continue to spin more and more, you know, going from tomorrow and the next day, which is why, you know, I think we're in a position where if we can get as close to Pakistan's total as we can, you know, if we bowl better than them in the second innings, I think we'll be in a good position.
And can you talk us through a little bit your thinking around the sweep, and maybe it takes the turn out of the equation a little bit? And I think you've previously said you've got 10 sweeps. How many did we see today?
Yeah, probably a fair few of them. Obviously, don't want to give too much away. You know, I think it's pretty clear the way I go about it. But you know, my theory is that the spinner's best delivery is where I want the ball to play a sweep shot. It's on a length. You know, and also my theory behind it is trying to get rid of the fielders around me. You know, especially with a new ball, with the ball kind of one bouncing and one not bouncing, they want to have a short leg, a leg slip. You know, first of all, my theory is there's more gaps in the outfield if that is the field. You know, and then it's kind of trying to get those fielders out and make it slightly easier where I can rotate and get singles. And yeah, you know, I think I learned from last time I came to Pakistan, I potentially, you know, I played too many sweeps and didn't really change it up. Whereas, you know, now I'm trying to make the bowlers change their lengths, change their lines, and then, you know, be able to hit with a straighter bat as well. But yeah.
Hi Ben, if the pitch does continue to go the way that we think it will go, what might it be like, I don't know, day 4 or even into day 5?
Who knows? You know, I feel like the game's going to move forward. You know, I think Pakistan played extremely well on day 1. I feel like, you know, if they go out there and, you know, they grinded their runs, which obviously played slightly different to the way we did today, I think that might be tough to do, you know, third innings with the ball spinning a little bit more. So be interesting to see how they go about it. You know, whatever the case is going into that fourth innings, we're going to look to be positive and try and chase that down. I felt like at times today the best way to go about it was to try and be positive. Doesn't feel like a pitch where you can sit on a defence for a period of time. It feels like there's certainly a ball with your name on. So, we're gonna have our tactics with the ball and the bat. And I'm sure Pakistan will. But I think this game might move forward quite quickly in the next couple of days.
It's an obvious thing to say just as few as possible. What's realistic in the fourth innings?
Good question. I feel like that will be easier to answer tomorrow morning. If we can win that session, we can try and restrict Pakistan to as little as possible. I don't want to throw too many numbers out there. We'll believe that we can go out there and try and win from any situation. But certainly on that pitch, the less the better.
Ben, since come back into the team a couple of years ago over here, you've kind of become the sort of standard bearer for the way you guys go about your cricket. What is it about this environment that brings the best out of you?
I feel like it's the way that I've played four-day cricket throughout my whole career. I haven't changed the way I played coming into this side, and I think that's probably why I've had the success I've had. I've got full backing from Baz and Stokesy to go and play the way that I want to play. In these conditions, if I want to go and switch hit the third ball I face, they'll give me full backing, and there's going to be no punishment or anything if I get out. So more often than not, when you have that backing from your coach and your captain, you'll go out there and perform. I'm not going to go half-hearted into a sweep in the second over because I'm worried about getting out. And it's just the way that I like to play my cricket. There's more gaps generally when you go out there and face the new ball. And it feels like, I'm really happy. And obviously, opening with Zach today, it's been 4 games without each other, but it was nice to go out there together.
I'm Kazi from Pro Sports. First of all, congratulations on your ton. You swept your way to excellence, really. And just want to talk to you about your personal journey as a cricketer. When you debuted versus Bangladesh, you couldn't buy a run in turning conditions. And here you are in this Multan test as England's best batter in these testing spinning conditions. So talk to me about your own transformation as a batter and how that's been like.
Yeah, I did get 60 in one of the 2 test matches, so it's slightly harsh. But look, I was young. I'd scored a lot of runs batting in English conditions, and it's incredibly difficult playing in the subcontinent when you haven't grown up playing in those conditions. But I scored 60 in Bangladesh and then went to India and got out in my opinion the best bowler to left-handers with Ravi Ashwin in India, and it was a great learning curve for me. It's tough going to those conditions when you haven't really grown up playing in them.
One question, Matt, please, and then we're done. Thank you.
Ben, just on your record in Pakistan, could you sort of tell us a bit about what it is about these conditions that you feel suits you, and I guess particularly talking about the low bounce on these pitches?
Well, I think generally, in the first 4 tests I've played here, all 3 of those pitches have been really good to bat on. First and foremost, this was the more challenging one. But I'm obviously facing a lot of spin and, a lot of spin turning into me, which I do enjoy. It was a different challenge today facing a good off-spinner who eventually got me out in the end. But it was nice to kind of back my defence and play with a straighter bat to him. But, obviously they're fast-scoring grounds out here and generally very good to bat on.
Thank you. Cheers, Ben.
Cheers, thanks.